do I feel good today? What is up, universe? This is what we affectionately call the OG show. It's only on YouTube. But damn it, we don't care if it's 1 or 1,000,000. It's important for us to be here for all of you, members of the crew. So on your way in, please hit that like button for us. It really helps the show grow. For those of you who are new to our little brand, first of all, welcome. Everybody is welcome here. I'm your host, the coach. I kind of navigate you through this little crazy world called sports betting. Now, do not forget, tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time, we will be live on Stadium. Wherever you find Stadium, Amazon Prime, watchstadium.com, the Stadium app, YouTube TV, Roku TV. And I'm telling you what, in the next couple of days, a big announcement on a new platform that we will join as well. So stay tuned for that. Now, it's a pivotal week. It's week 6 in the NFL. The bye weeks have started. We've got a game going on live right now. The Jags, they held the Bears 3 and out. Then they go down, nearly catch a touchdown pass. It gets knocked out. They kick a field goal. They already have the ball back. We'll continue to update that game live and maybe some live betting opportunities as well. But without further ado, it's Sunday morning. Spend time with your families, your friends. And we're family. We're friends. And it's time for the picks. Let's go. Oh, look who we have today. My partner, the 5-tool player. AB, good Sunday morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, Chuck. Good morning, crew. What's good?
We're good. A lot of good. Big Chuck, what's good with you, big boy?
Morning, Coach. AB, how about go Tigers? Go Tigers.
Big win right there.
Wow. Now, in the other game, real quick, before we get to the NFL, I saw a lot of Florida Gator fans, AB, that were lamenting the fact that they did not go for 2 to try to win the game in the last 30 seconds. Should the Gators have gone for 2?
Yes. Now, the reason that you saw Billy Napier run out the offense for the 2-point conversion and then you saw a big shift was specifically to get Tennessee to call timeout, all right, to see what they were doing. And then they went to the extra point. It was brilliant because Tennessee had 40 seconds and 3 timeouts. Billy Napier did that specifically to steal a timeout from Tennessee. It was smart. But then I would have gone for 2. Now, here's the other thing. Did anyone see the end of the Ohio State-Oregon game last night?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
10 seconds left, right? Ohio State with the ball. Oregon, their head coach, Dan Lanning, on purpose runs out a 12th player on the field, and you can't call penalty until the play starts. Play starts, 4 seconds tick off. They call the penalty 5 yards, but the time ticks off. So instead of having 10 seconds, Ohio State only had 6 seconds, and they couldn't run a play to get a field goal. Quarterback runs into the game. Brilliant.
Brilliant, right? The other part of that, AB, which I did not know, when they called the offensive pass interference, that the clock starts running when the play when the referee puts it, but it was an incomplete pass. So I think Ohio State thought that the play starts when they snap it, but that's not the rule.
No,
I didn't know that rule. Did you? Did you guys know that rule?
No, I didn't. Ohio State's coaching staff didn't know the rule because they would have called timeout.
Wow. So much fascinating stuff happened on Saturday. By the way, shout out to Dropkick. He says, damn, Coach, I'm on my way to work at Costco just in time for some bets. Say hello to the Boom and Doom guys if you see them over there. Oh, my. Is it a Boom? Double chocolate chip? You know what
Fire food over at Costco. It's solid.
It's so much better than people think. So much better than people think. All right, after a really fascinating day in college football, and I think also, Big Chuck, I'll let you weigh on this as well, we're starting to see what we've talked about for well over a month, that the SEC and all these conference matchups, they would start beating each other up, which is why we've said there's probably going to be multiple teams with 2, maybe even 3 losses because Ole Miss loses at the buzzer. They've got 2 already. They were a top 10 team.
Yeah, remember how the world was following LSU lost to USC and just relax and let it play out. So, yeah, the marathon begins, Tennessee, Alabama next week. So, yeah, the gauntlet begins for a lot of these teams. We'll see who's left standing coming a few months.
And you tune in right here to DTL. We are live 6 days a week at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Real quick, AB, live betting opportunity. According to DraftKings, they're starting the second quarter right now. First snap of the second quarter. Jags up 3-0. They are punting to the Bears. The live number at DraftKings is Jags -3.5, -110. The total is at 35.5, -120. You like anything so far?
Nothing that I like, side or total. If you could take anything ETN, that's what I would roll with because he's their team.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
Big Chuck, you're our live guy. Talk to me.
Yeah, I would be on the under in the Jags, so everything's in their favor right now. Maybe look at Caleb Williams interception coming up. You never know. We usually get one of those at the end of the game if they're trailing, and I do like the Jags to win this one.
AB, go.
Reports are that Doug Peterson is literally coaching for his job right now in real time. So if you like betting on that, there you go.
Can you imagine if he gets fired on the plane flying back from London today?
That'd be 2 weeks in a row. Happened to Robert Saleh.
On the I didn't know it was on the plane.
I mean, he knew.
Yeah. Wow. And there is Wi-Fi on these planes. They can get those damn phone calls. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the picks. We got a bunch of solid picks. If you watch this all week long, then you know that you have your paper, you have your pencil. But as always, we start with our man Howie Schwab and the crew play of the day. AB, what are our selections today, sir?
All right, Howie would have loved this one. 2 games, 4 options here. All right, you got the Lions and the Cowboys, Cardinals and the Packers. All right, take the Lions -3.5, Cowboys +3.5. You go with the Cardinals +5.5 or the Packers -5.5. All right, polls in the chat. Vote now. Update as we always do at the end of the show. And Dags in the chat brings it up. Yeah, ETN's only got 3 carries for -1 yard. The Jaguars and Doug Peterson want that key card to work this week. He's about to get a ton of work.
Well, speaking of that, leave it to our numbers guy, Raphael, who never stops working. Apparently, AB, next week, and I didn't know this, the Jags stay in London, and they're playing the Patriots 2 weeks in a row in London. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So
yeah. They play 2 games there a year, which is like, I mean, they're home games. Like it's wild. It really is.
I wonder if there's ever been a head coach fired outside of the United States for an NFL. This might be a first. Be a first. Oh, and if you're an assistant coach, how do you take over in London? Oh my gosh. So much going on. All right, AB, I want to start with you, big boy. Because we got a lot of plays, and we do on Sunday mornings, we do everything here, the straight plays, the props. So I've got my paper, I've got my pen. Give me like your first 2, AB. Let's start there.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of interceptions today. All right, first we're going Will Levis, Tennessee Titans QB at home against the Colts. All right, remember, Mason Rudolph played, all right, the entire game. The Titans got their first win 2 weeks ago, then a bye week, and now they reiterated that Will Levis is the starter, and he's the starting quarterback today. That's not going to go well against the Colts. Take Will Levis over half of an interception, -125, and then the kid. Look, I like Drake May. I think he's going to be solid. The Texans aren't the one to start up against, so we're going to take him for an interception as well because he's probably going to be throwing all day.
Jared Chat says that we should ladder Drake May and his rushing yards, AB, because he's going to be, quote, running for his life today against the Texans. Would you like that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. He's going to be running all over the place. And look, this is a good head coaching matchup on that as well. All right. You've got 2 head coaches who were great linebackers, both SEC linebackers, Tennessee and Alabama. Like, these dudes know each other completely, absolutely know each other, man. It's going to be a fun one today.
Hashtag it pays to watch live. By the way, AB, real quick before I get over to Chuck, would it surprise you that Caesars has a big bet, $110,000 on the Titans +1 against the Colts?
Oh, it's good, man. I didn't know if my wire went through or not this morning. You know, whoever is betting that much money on the Tennessee Titans, sir, you need help or you are money laundering. I don't know which one it is, but we're going to find out because that is risky.
One of 2.
Hey, and shout out to Allie in the chat. She called it a week and a half ago that the Patriots were going to move to Drake May. Before Schefter, Rappaport, anybody. Allie in our chat said it. It's going to happen. Literally 20 hours later, it happened.
We have the smartest fans, the smartest crew in the game, because we do it together. We don't just broadcast to you. We listen coming back. And Allie says maybe May over rushing yards today. So she's on that as well. Big Chuck, let me come over to you and start with your first two plays. You're on the Falcons, who are coming off, it seems like an eternity ago, but they had that late game, overtime, dramatic win against the Bucs at BetMGM. There is a bettor who minus 275 on the money line, bet $150,000 on the Falcons against the Panthers. Smart bet?
Yeah, I would feel more comfortable with just the money line if you're not really, not by itself. Maybe if you're bundling it with something, that's a lot of risk to take just from the minus 275. But hey, if he's got it, then more power to him. I definitely think they'll win. I don't know about covering, but yeah, I think they'll definitely win. I would have probably paired it with something else, but hey, more the merrier.
All right, there you go. All right, you got your first two in that game. Talk to me.
Yeah, Falcons team total over 26.5. Carolina has allowed 27 or more points in 4 of 5 this season. And the one they didn't, they allowed 26 exactly. So, yeah, Dirty Birds team total over 26.5. And then that same game, Falcons, Panthers over 46.5. Last two Falcons games have went over the total. Their offense seems to be clicking in the gear. And 4 of Carolina's last 5 games have cashed to the over. So, yeah, love this over 46.5 Falcons and Panthers.
Yeah, and I got your back on that as well. I'm also writing that same over with you. Now, my two first plays, Eagles and the Commanders. The Browns absolutely stink, and I do not care if they are changing quarterbacks or not. Jameis Winston has not seen a live play all year that means anything. And Deshaun Watson, his confidence is shot. So I don't care who plays. I don't care how much. The Eagles are coming off a bad loss. They're 2-2. They cannot let the Commanders get that much farther ahead. I don't like the 8.5, but I think they roll at home today over the Browns. So I'll take the Eagles minus 8.5. Now, speaking of the Commanders, this could be the game of the day. And if you're saying, Coach, why is it minus 138? Well, I'm buying the half a point up to 7. Now, some places even have it at 6.5. I like that 7.5 number. I think the hook could play a factor. I think they won't win this football game, but you're going to give Jaden Daniels and the Commanders, Washington, a full touchdown the way that they've been playing, and the Ravens gave up 38 last week to the Bengals. I'll take my chances. Buy that half a point up to 7.5, minus 138. The juice most definitely will be worth the squeeze. Now, AB, let me come back over to you because you have two more plays that involve quarterbacks. You're up.
Kyler Murray going up against the Green Bay Packers. You might know it, might not. Green Bay Packers are the number 1 defense in the NFL at ball hawking, no-fly zone. The Packers defense does not play around at all. They pick everybody off. Kyler on the road, chucking. Yeah, let me go ahead and take them on an interception. And then the game of the day, like you said, Cowboys, Lions. We're going to go to BetMGM. We're going to take over 1.5 interceptions, all right, between Dak and Jared Goff. You never played this before. Doesn't matter how we get to 2. Could be Dak with 2. Could be Goff with 2. Could be 1 and 1 each. Could be way more than that. But I do believe that you're going to see 2 teams chucking the ball, even if they're up, even if they're down. Doesn't matter. And you know what? Jared Goff might lead it in interceptions today.
Wow. Saying that coming off a perfect day the last time he was out there. Very interesting. I know when you're in the lab, you got to have like a handprint to even get in. It's very secretive.
Dan Clark, it is like it is like Xavier McKinney, all right, with the Packers. 5 interceptions in 5 games with Green Bay. How's that for a start?
By the way, speaking of slinging it, Caleb Williams just had a big touchdown pass to their big tight end who broke about 3 tackles and lunged into the end zone. So the Bears are now up 7-3. Real quick, guys, let's take a look at that new live number. Of course, DraftKings doesn't have it updated yet, but we will get to it in a second. All right, Charles, let me come over to you. I love the play so far. Love the analysis. Love where we're going. You've got 3 more plays, and these are all receiving yards. You're up.
Darnell Mooney over 51.5 receiving yards. He continues to be one of Kirk's favorite targets. He's averaging 66 receiving yards per game and has 52 or more in 4 straight. So, yeah, love him to get at least 52. Drake London over 66.5 receiving yards. He's averaging 71 receiving yards per game, and he continues to be targeted as the number 1 receiver. I also like his over 5.5 catches. I think he gets at least 6. I think he's got that like in every game except one. So he should tear up this Panthers defensive backfield. And lastly, Zay Flowers over 57.5 receiving yards. He's coming off a 7-catch, 111-yard performance, and this should be a shootout against this Commanders defense. I like our chances of Zay getting this at least 58 receiving yards, and that live number looks like 2.5 on Jags and a 40.5 on the total.
Thank you very much. Do you like any of that, AB, right now?
Yeah, I definitely like Drake London. I like Darnell Mooney too. I think that Drake London play is really good. I mean, look, the Falcons throw the football constantly. Like, even when they've got great running backs, but they chuck it, dude. And give Kirk Cousins praise. This dude is looking good. So, yeah, I love that Drake London play.
He really, really is. I also like the over in that game as well because just like Charles said, the Falcons defense hasn't been, they give up 30 to the Bucs. Not like they're impenetrable, but they both can score, and Andy Dalton at the helm. By the way, William in the chat, AB, said that Jimmy Haslam has told Stefanski in Cleveland he's playing Watson, period, end of story.
100%. Jimmy Haslam. Look, I'm very, very familiar with this guy. He used to be the largest donor at the University of Tennessee. His brother was the governor of the state of Tennessee. Jimmy Haslam, if he's paying that check, 1,000,000%. He will ride with it all the way to the end. Now, he is absolutely correct. That is Jimmy Haslam. If you want hard-headed, like sticking to it, Jimmy Haslam's your guy.
Isn't it amazing how super rich owners who, like Jerry, that walk into when I was in Canada, they walk into the locker room and they stand there with their hands on their side. They cannot admit when they are wrong. They can't do it. They can't do it.
No, you're right. His brother just bought the Nashville Predators. So, this family's got money.
Wow.
All over yeah.
Coming out of their ears.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, AB. Thank you, Chuck. My one other play in addition to that Falcons-Panthers over that I'm playing with Charles together, Lions-Cowboys over 52.5. Now, when you have a lot of turnovers, like AB's predicting perhaps today in that game, you can have short fields that can turn into quick scores. And the Lions have shown this year their offense is clicking. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he is earning every piece of that check. Now, on the other side, Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb, after last week, the dust-up, sort of a dust-up on the sidelines, they need to get back on the same page. When this happens, normally they will start to feed, just like the Chiefs did with Travis Kelce. So I would take a look at CeeDee Lamb, his catches and his yards, because I think today they'll try to get him going early and often, and Dak's got to have a good game. So I think there's going to be a lot of points. I can see 31-24, 31-27, something like that. All right, so the Bears are celebrating in London. I don't know what
Interception.
Was this something you liked today? Interception from Mr. Lawrence, AB.
They're starting to add up. It took a while to get them going, but that's what I'm saying. Like, the Jaguars, when they're down, this team is ETN, and that is it. Once they get down, they cannot come back. There's literally nothing for them to do.
It may have been a fumble.
It is actually a fumble, but that's why I like the Bears laying the 2.5, because just because the Jags won their last game, they haven't been good all year. AB's right. When they get down, they continue to make mistakes.
Yeah,
continue to make mistakes.
And the Bears are getting better, man. Each week, the Chicago Bears are getting better. Caleb Williams is, yeah.
They're 3-2, Chuck. If they win today, they'll be 4-2 with a rookie quarterback. Who would have thought that?
NFC Central, who would have thought that would have been the best division in football also?
Yeah. Japan says, does Doug get fired before the end of the game?
And what stinks, look, I've been around Doug Peterson. He's one of the nicest human beings. And look, that doesn't matter, right? In the NFL, but that dude is awesome. He's an awesome guy, man. It's strange.
Fun fact.
it makes
Yeah,
it
fun
harder,
fact
though.
about Dougie P.
Yeah.
He coached at the same high school before he went to Philly. He coached at the same high school that Sam Burns was at before he graduated, or when he graduated. And Todd Walker, standout baseball player from LSU. They were all at Calgary Baptist, and then he went on to Philly, and then Sammy went on to do what he did. So for 1 year, they were all there together. Fun fact.
Yeah, Sam Burns was just on the President's Cup team for the United States, and he famously this year had held up Scotty Scheffler's baby like they were in the Lion King and Mufasa at the top of the freaking mountain. All right, let's break down a few games because there's way more to this than just picks. You guys know here in the universe, we try to make you the smartest sports better, and there was a lot of comparisons, AB, this week, and I can't wait for this game today. It's 1 p.m. Eastern time. Washington, I don't even know if they had to go stay in the team hotel. They probably did. I would assume they do it even if it's like basically a home game. But right now, that number is still sitting on 7. If you like the Commanders on the money line, it's kind of a good price. The total at 51.5. Do you think Jaden Daniels, as a rookie, he has shown a lot of maturity, but might get caught up in the one-on-one battle with Lamar Jackson on the other side?
He'll certainly try. And here's the thing about this game. Like, the Ravens aren't who they used to be. And what I mean by that is that it used to be all ball control, 9.5 minute drives, right? And then they just end it. It's not necessarily the case. Like, they give up a lot of points. Jaden Daniels, he'll be able to throw, especially after last week. He didn't really look that great. Like, I like points in this game because Baltimore also knows you're going to have to score. And Washington will give up points. I like Dan Quinn. Defense, but they'll give up points, man.
Oh, yeah. And by the numbers, he had his worst game of the year last week, Jaden Daniels. So, to your point, they did reverse that play in the Jags-Bears game. They reviewed it as every turnover is reviewed, and they said it was an incomplete pass. He fumbled it before he had possession, so the Jags keep possession. ATN, though, standing on the sidelines now as he has not had a good start in London. Charles, let me come over to you because Lamar Jackson, he's starting to get here in week 6 some of that MVP talk. He's already won a couple, and he's not always doing it with his legs. Last week, 4 touchdowns in the air, over 300 yards passing. Do you think maybe that could be the game plan against this defense that AB just said, and we all should recognize does give up points and yards?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a mixture for Lamar. I think he goes off, and I love that. I love Lamar props. I love the Ravens team total, and I'm seeing it 6.5 now. So that's basically, Commanders are taking a ton of money. They're trying to get it back to the Ravens side because that once they went to the 7, it just flooded the market. People were automatically on the Commanders. So yeah, a lot of Commanders love, but I think the Ravens I'm with AB. I think we see points. I think the Ravens put up some points, love their team total, and I think your boy Lamar has a big day.
Hey, Charles, why don't you give the people the real reason the number's moving? I literally just gave it out 5 minutes ago here on the show. Coach moves lines, baby. Coach moves lines.
Word on
What
the street.
What are we talking about? Yeah, word on the street. By the way, one of our very important members of our crew is in the chat right now. Seabass, the only 5-star chef in the game, says, I'm telling you right now, this Ravens Commanders game, Seabass Commanders game is going under. AB, is he right?
I mean, it could be like that. That's the thing is that these two teams are so tough because the Ravens alone can show up and score 51 points and it doesn't surprise you and win. Mm-hmm. They could show up and score 17 points and win and it doesn't surprise you. Like, look, he's in the DMV. So, I mean, these are your two teams out there. I'll trust him on that. I'll follow him.
He does live in that neck of the woods. If you know, you know. All right, featured game number 2. And when the NFL made the schedule for week 6, there's a reason they put this at 425. There's a reason that this is the featured game today because you're going to have over 100,000 strong, Big Chuck, in Arlington. And the Cowboys the last 2 weeks, yes, they won, but man, have they struggled to get to 20 points. Exactly both games against the Giants. And last week, that late game heroic 2 a.m. win in Pittsburgh. But Detroit, they're a different animal. And look at the number right now. It's continued to rise. Road favorites against a playoff team from a year ago. Wow. The books and the public Love Detroit today with that hook. The total, obviously, I'm playing the total 52.5. Your thoughts?
Yeah, this is my second favorite on the board for points. I definitely think we're going to see a shootout today. Detroit coming in against this banged up Dallas defense, so I think they're going to carry the bulk of the scoring. But I think Dallas contributes also. I think CD and Tolbert have big games, so yeah, I'm expecting a shootout. And just remember, this is the get back game for Campbell for the 2-point gate from last season. So I think he still has a bitter feeling based off of that result. So yeah, I expect plenty of points.
And he should. It was one of the dumbest decisions, I won't say in the history of the game, but everybody publicly, even if you rooted for Dallas, you're like, this is the obvious decision, AB. And I hope at some point Dan Campbell starts to take his head coaching strategy a little bit better because he's got the team. I just don't want him to hinder this football team.
Yeah, his attitude, he's been there long enough, and they've all been in the trenches together, so to say, right?
Yeah.
Together, that their communication levels, like everybody knows what time it is, and everybody knows where the other one stands. So there's no concern on that. Today is about, first off, it feels like a Thanksgiving game, right? When you got the Cowboys and the Lions, it feels like it's a Thanksgiving game, right? Dallas has to keep going. And if they could get out to a lead, they could force Detroit to play. I mean, not saying it's a style Detroit's not ready to do because they could play any style of game, but this has a very 49ers Seahawks feel to it. We talked about this, that the game script would be the Lions emulating the 49ers. Get up, run the football, 25 passes from Goff. Like, that's your ideal game for Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dallas being Seattle and Geno throwing it 51 times, Dak doing the same, right? Like, that's kind of the game script, so to say. But if Dallas scores first, they're going to force Detroit to do that too. So, yeah, this is going to be a wild one, man.
Everything.
Yeah, it's going to be a wild one. And these two coaches will do wild things too. Like, that's just funny. I like DG's look at Brandon Aubrey. Like, over 47.5, longest field goal for Dallas at home. That dude could boot it from the moon, man.
From the moon.
Yeah.
I never heard announcers on a broadcast in a serious conversation go, yeah, we were talking to Aubrey before the game, and he was like, yeah, I like to go out and, I just, I'll go 70, 75, just kind of see how strong my what? This dude, literally, if they're at midfield, which would make it a 67-yard field goal, he is absolutely in range. Absolutely in range. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
And McCarthy will do it too. Like,
he'll
not hesitate. Yep.
I don't know that I've ever seen a team take over the ball on a missed field goal on that side of the field. Think about that. Think about that. Quick chat question, AB, for you. Obviously, you're our INT guy, and we've got a big debut. Mr. Spencer Rattler is playing today for Charles's team, but it's juicy, like minus 164, minus 165, over a half an interception at home against the Bucs. Your thoughts?
Yep. So I love it. The juice obviously a little high, but look, I like Spencer Rattler, good quarterback, but yeah, he's throwing one up today. And Golden Boot, they've been with us from the jump. Go check them out. Follow them on Twitter, YouTube, all that. They've had me on their show. Thank you very much. They're the best, the absolute best. Like, go check them out. And big LSU win last night for y'all. So congrats.
I've never been asked to be on their show, AB, not even one time.
I think they did ask. I think they did. I think it was when we had, like, it was like Super Bowl. So it was like going on. But yeah. You get love. Oh, trust me. You get love down there. Like, yeah, trust me.
Caleb Williams pick.
There it is.
All right. And they're running back the other way. Charles, can you let me do the update since I'm about 8 minutes behind you? You have digital. I have TV. It's the way it works in here. So both, if we were playing the over 1.5 AB, that would have just cashed.
There you go, right there.
Yep. Or the over 1.5 interceptions. Yep. That would have cashed too. So
them London picks.
Those London picks. Big Chuck, real quick. Saints are your team. Spencer Rattler, locally, are they excited that Derek Carr is not playing, or are they behind Spencer Rattler? What's kind of the feel down there?
Oh, they've been calling for Rattler since preseason, since they saw him. They've been excited. They've been trying to get him in regardless of cars. So, yeah, they're excited to see what old Rattler can do. But you can always wait live because if you think he's going to throw a pick, wait a couple series and see if you can get a reduced juice on the interception if you like him also.
AB, go.
I saw Spencer Rattler against Tennessee light that ass up. He went for like 31 to 32. Legitimately a perfect game. Like, this cat, his arm is live. It's absolutely live for sure.
I hope you guys understand what I mean by this. And if anybody's watching right now and be like, oh, so you know how now in the last 5 or 10 years, obviously reality shows have become big and you start to see guys before. Do you remember the show that was on Netflix? I don't remember the name of the show, but it followed 3 high school quarterbacks around for their senior years. And Spencer Rattler in Las Vegas was one of those quarterbacks that they followed around. He had a lot of maturity problems. He got suspended during the season, a lot of things. 2 questions. Do you remember, either one of you, one of the other 2 quarterbacks that was featured on that show that season? He's starting in the NFL right now.
Trevor Lawrence.
Nope. You said Trevor Lawrence. Spencer Rattler's a rookie. It was the same year, I said.
He was on one, though. So Trevor Lawrence was on one of those. I think he was OG.
That same season, though.
Yeah.
Two-a-days. No, I don't know who.
Justin Fields. Justin Fields, because he played in Georgia. And if you remember, he had a big recruiting. He signed with Georgia originally and then transferred to Ohio State. I think we forget that a lot of the time. But I still think of Spencer Rattler, AB, as that young, immature kid because I watched 10 episodes of him on this, and my mind will not let me move him up to being an NFL quarterback. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. Where did he go first? Oklahoma State?
Who, Rattler?
Yeah.
He went to Oklahoma.
That's right. Yeah. Oklahoma, then to South Carolina. Yeah.
Yeah. Do we remember who replaced him at Oklahoma?
Caleb.
Playing right now. Caleb Williams. Yeah. Caleb Williams came in, replaced him. Then he transferred to USC when head coach moved to USC.
And then kid from Oregon, Dylan Gabriel. And
there you go. Who last night, by the way,
Oklahoma lost a lot of quarterbacks.
They did. The last 5 starters, I saw this stat yesterday. Who's the head coach for USC?
Lincoln Riley.
Lincoln Riley. Like the last 5 or 6 quarterbacks are all either starting in the NFL or like he's a quarterback whisperer.
He's got an offense.
That you already brought it up, AB, but that game last night, that's why we need 12 teams in the playoffs. That Ohio State, Oregon, I could watch that again and again and again and again, and I want to see it at the end of December. Don't you guys? Oh my gosh. Yep. And that's now a Big Ten matchup. It's now a conference matchup. Absolutely bananas. Now, you're probably wondering, why do we have the Texans and the Patriots on our featured game screen? Well, whenever you change quarterbacks and you bring in somebody who a lot of people thought should have been the number 1 pick in the draft, well, you got to talk about him. And then you got the Texans, AB, who are – it's really hard when you back up a late run to the playoffs with a rookie quarterback themselves. But it looks like to me now, C.J. Stroud has said, you know what? I'm going to be a franchise quarterback. I love playing in Houston. They're going to build around me, all that stuff. But it never hurts to start thinking they've got 3 more years before, probably 2, they've got to pay him the big bag. The Texans' time is right now.
It's absolutely right now. Look, D'Amico Ryans came in. Remember, they immediately made a trade to get the number 1 and number 2 overall picks of the draft. Said, oh, we're going to take an Alabama linebacker, and we're taking C.J. Stroud. Look, D'Amico Ryans is doing his thing. Like I said, great defensive coordinator. He's a great linebacker in the NFL, linebacker in Alabama, head coach of the Patriots, Gerard Mayo. Great linebacker with the Patriots, great linebacker with Tennessee. Gerard Mayo can't pay for a drink in the state of Tennessee. I promise you that. Everybody loves him. But Drake May is a tough start right here, buddy. But good thing he's at home. The biggest problem is the Pats' offensive line. That's the problem.
What's the problem?
That they played like 8 different dudes.
You can't have synergy like that.
No.
You can't. I mean, there is for people who don't know, when you play on the offensive line, it's kind of like knowing the plays as wide receivers. You got to know who you're blocking. You got to work with each other. This guy's taking the rusher here, the blitzer here. And if you got 8 guys, it's like talking 8 different languages. It's really hard to communicate.
A lot of holding calls. Just look out for that.
Yeah. Real quick, classic Trevor Lawrence, 3 and out after the interception. They did nothing with that ball, and now the numbers move back, Charles, to 2.5, but it's minus 130 for the Bears, and the total just keeps dropping. It's now at 33.5. 3 minutes to go in the second quarter. Your thoughts?
Yeah, the only thing I would look at is the Jaguars, the 2.5. I wish it was 3, but I think that at some point in this game that they'll eventually get within the 2.5. They may even win. That's just going to take a little bit of time. But I would love to see a 3.5. That would really jump on that one. We always want that key number. But even at 2.5, worth some value because they closed at 1-point favorites.
Okay, very good. AB, you like anything right now? Not much has changed other than the total dropping 2 full points.
You know what? Like Chicago, like I'm telling you, Jacksonville has nothing. They cannot come back. And Trevor Lawrence got paid and is washed. He's washed.
Capital W. And it's amazing when these guys, and the new number has a 5 beside it. If you're a franchise quarterback, you're going to make $50 million plus. That's just what it is. And I think it even puts more of a spotlight on how good these guys need to play when they get their bag. And Trevor Lawrence, who's the only quarterback from that class, still playing for the team that drafted him. And
you know, another thing he's had, not to interrupt you, like I don't want to put it all on Trev, even though, he like this is on him. But the Jaguars have switched coaches and offensive coordinators almost every year that he's been there. He had Urban Meyer for a while. Like, it's just been a mess. So if you fire Doug Peterson, you just paid Trevor. He's not going anywhere. So you're going to give him a 7th coach and an offense to learn. How's that going to help? Like,
no kidding. No kidding. By the way, our girl Tina's in the chat. She says Bears are doing pretty good, holding their own. Knew that they would. Which brings us to our next question, you two clowns. You two and Tina, I'm sure, have already put in your orders for tonight in said club. Charles, are you ready to pop some more bottles tonight?
Always, and just waiting for you to get your picture on the wall also, Coach.
Thank you, Charles. Yeah, AB, that was a direct shot. And
hey, bro, I'll give you something to be happy about. We're only one quarterback move away from Joe Milton time in New England, baby. I'm telling you, nobody's seen the NASA missile.
You're waiting for that, baby. You're waiting for that.
I'm telling you, the NFL is not ready for the experience that I've lived with Joe Milton. I don't care who's in the NFL. He throws it 8 times harder than anybody. You don't know where it's going, but that boy is throwing a 200 foot. He makes Brett Favre look like a child. He throws hard.
I want to see it just for that.
It's
just
hilarious. He'll throw it out of the stadium. Like,
oh, I can't wait. Okay. Phil says, Big Joe, laughing my ass off. You're right, Phil. You're right. All right. So do not forget, tonight we break down the Bengals and the Giants for a full hour live on Stadium at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And also we will live sweat those 425 games, including the Lions and the Cowboys, live on Stadium tonight as well. I love that 7 p.m. Eastern start time. Now, we cannot ignore that the National League Championship Series is kicking off tonight. And AB, about 53 miles from where I'm sitting right now, the Dodgers coming off an emotional win over the San Diego Padres, their rivals. They got to now come right back tonight. They're laying minus 155. The total is 8. The Mets feel like a team of destiny. It is Senga against Jack Flaherty. What are your initial thoughts in this best of 7?
The Mets are hitting. I mean, it just hitting travels right now. Can the Dodgers stop that? They did against the Padres. Remember, the Padres started that series just blasted moonshots left and right. It slowed down. But long as New York's hitting, it's hard to bet against them, man.
2 straight series, Charles. It was Peter Alonso winning the Milwaukee series with a dramatic 3-run home run. Then the other day, boy, you talk about somebody that looks like they've done it before. Francisco Lindor hits a grand slam, and you would have thought he was hitting it on a Tuesday in July. He just trots around the bases. No big deal. A couple of hugs. That's a boss. That's an all-star. That's an all-pro type of player. But now, can they do it 3 times in a row? It would be great. They would just love to get one out of these first 2, but both teams Very emotional wins over division rivals. Who do you think can bounce back emotionally better first?
I was looking at the Mets, but this is going to be a tricky one. I was just going to go with the total in this one, but I would probably think the Mets, they had a little bit extra rest, but they do have to travel. This is going to be a tricky game one. So right now, I would say the Mets. I definitely like this total, and then also look at a sneaky one, Jesse Winker. He should have a good game. Also, he's had some good success against Flaherty and Betts also on the other side for the Dodgers. So yeah, I think we actually see some runs in this one. So excited to see this one get off. I know the suits, they can't go wrong. What they get, a Subway Series or the Yankees and Dodgers? I don't think as long as the Guardians don't mess up everything, I think that's a well scripted storylines for them going forward.
Yeah, the Guardians getting it done last night. AB, go.
Let me just give a secret plug to everyone that is watching Driving the Line. If you're not, you're never going to get this. Write down or type it in on your phone or computer, swishanalytics.com. Okay. Go there and click on the left-hand side. You're going to see batter versus pitcher and then expanded. You're welcome. If you want any props in baseball, swishanalytics.com.
And go to the left side and hit batter versus pitcher.
Yep. And expand that puppy out.
Expand it out.
Yeah.
And you're welcome.
All right, see old Jesse Winker.
Yep.
All right. Hashtag it pays to watch live. All right, quick update. The Bears have the ball back under the 2-minute warning as they try to add to their lead before halftime. But unless something crazy happens, the Bears will cover that first half number as well. The under will come in because I think the over was in the 40s. So the halftime number had to be in the 20s, AB, I would imagine. All the unders are gonna come in for that game as well. Final thoughts. We like to wrap up every single Sunday morning because there's so much going on today. So many pivotal games. Don't just look at a game and go, oh, those are two bad teams. This is the NFL. Every week matters. Every game matters. AB, start us off. Final thoughts.
Colts at the Titans. All right. Rivalry game. These two team fan bases know each other. You're going to start with Anthony Richardson versus Will Levis. You could end with Joe Flacco versus Mason Rudolph. You could see 4 quarterbacks in this game. It could get wild.
Pat says, look at these nugs we're getting. Who else got it better than us? Huh, AB? Big Chuck?
Nobody.
You're damn right. And I screwed that up. Sorry about that, guys. All right, Big Chuck, let me come over to you. Your final thoughts on today as we head into week 6.
I think we may see some points this week. It's been undertrained for a lot of the season, so I think we may actually see some points. And don't be surprised if them Patriots keep it close. Usually in low-scoring games, it's went from a 7 to a 6.5. So don't be surprised if they keep that within a touchdown in a lower-scoring game. So yeah, excited for this one. And like I said, I think we may see some points this week.
All right, very good. Quick chat question before we get out of here from Cody AB. What do you think with a Jets-Colts teaser, both up to 8.5?
Love it. Probably going to be pretty lower scoring games as well. So, yeah. Yep, I'm down with that. Caleb Williams, look, Guzzle said it. He's dealing, son. Caleb Williams looking good.
He is. They're inside the 25 with about 30 seconds to go as they try to add to their lead. Going into halftime, the Jags stink. Gentlemen, well done. I'll see you guys tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Understand that Sundays are very important for everybody. Spend that time with your family, with your friends. Keep an eye on the games. If your family tradition is to watch the games, do that too, but enjoy it, keep it positive, and let's do it together. So with all that being said, there is only one thing left to do. And I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. My Tiger Lumbo, my man from the Dirty Big Chuck, my boy AB, producer man behind the scenes, always making the show back from vacation like $1 million. I am simply the coach, trying to keep this train on said track. We grind for you so we can win with you. It's truly what we're all about every single day, even Sundays, right here at Driving the Line. Good luck.